Hello everyone, it's Alex. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. So today I have another ranking video for you guys. I have 5 palettes that I have been playing around, testing, and using, and now I have put them from least favorite all the way to my favorite. I may or may not have 1 or 2 more videos of this, and then I'm going to take all of my number ones in this series and then rank them from there, which will be kind of difficult because a lot of these have been number 1 for a very long time in other categories as well. So before I get into the ranking, if you're new to my channel, welcome to the familia. My name is Alex. I am an eyeshadow enthusiast with a dash of Project Pan. If that is something that interests you, subscribe, join the familia. And now without further ado, let's get on with the ranking. Now for those that are new to this, I just want to say it real quick. There is no rhyme or reason what palettes land in this specific basket that I have here. I just go ahead and use the new palettes that I do have that I'm not doing a specific video on, and then I put them in the basket. And then once I collect 5 palettes, then I go ahead and grab those 5 palettes within that basket and then rank them from there. So there's no rhyme or reason what palettes land in there. It's just the palettes that I'm currently using, testing out, and want to share with you guys. So let's start out with number 5. So this one will go to Midas Cosmetics the Lemonade palette. Now this one you guys have known I have reviewed on my channel. I did the Flower Bomb Beauty palette, and this is the other palette that I did get from them. Whenever I try a new brand, I always get at least 2 palettes because sometimes the formula is different and it's not consistent, which you will see in this video. So with this palette, it is more of a monochromatic palette compared to the Flower Bomb Beauty palette that I reviewed from them. This is all yellow tones, as you guys can see. This palette is actually a better quality to me than the Flower Bomb Beauty one. Now bear in mind, I don't think the quality of this brand in general when they do their eyeshadows is terrible. It's just I prefer more of a softer, more pigmented shadow. These are a lot thinner and less pigmented, which means you got to build them up more on your eyes, but that's not to say that it is a terrible quality. It's just not my preference. For some, it is great because if you're a beginner with color or are very careless, you don't really pay too much mind on what you're doing to your eyes, you just want something quick, this is more of the formula for you because it's not going to be so pigmented where you're going to have a hard time or have to sit there and blend constantly out on your eyes. So don't think that because I'm not liking this formula, it's a bad formula. It's not. It's just my preference. So this one's number 5 for that reason. And not only for that reason, but the other palette that I have, the Oh Honey palette from ColourPop, is so much better quality. I like the punch in those yellows more than this one. This one's really pretty. I did like the looks that came out with it. This color is one of my favorites. It has a very deep gold in here, has a lime green, yellowish gold here, a soft gold. This one right here is more of like a almost white gold. It's not true white, but it's not 100% yellow. It's pretty. I do like it. I actually like this one more than the Flower Bomb palette. I feel like this formula is a little bit better than that one, and I don't care for their glitters, to be honest with you. So if I were to compare either one of these, I would prefer the Lemonade over the Flower Bomb, but in the realm of the 5 that I'm sharing with you guys today, this one is the bottom of the 5. Palette number 4 goes to the Essence Beautiful palette. This one was gifted to me by Lisa over my birthday, and this one won over the Lemonade palette solely because of the formula. If the formula of the Lemonade palette was the formula of this one, you know that that one would have been over here because the color story appeals to me more in the Lemonade than this one. This is your basics warm tone neutral eyeshadow palette. It's beautiful. The formula is amazing. I have mentioned this already in a different Essence palette ranking that I did. Essence has really stepped it up in their quality as far as their eyeshadows, and they are beautiful. This is really, really good. If you like these type of tones and you don't want to spend an arm and a leg on an eyeshadow palette, this one is very, very good quality. There's not one in here that is a dud, but you guys know I'm more indifferent when it comes to a brow bone and a black. To me, I don't use them often, so for me, they're irrelevant in a palette. I would have rather liked some other shades in here, but overall, it is a beautiful palette. Every look that I came out with this was beautiful. It was less work on my eyes that I had to do, but yet it was still pigmented. They do have a little bit of powder kick up, but it was very, very good. I love the quality of this. I do. And that's the reason why it's number 4 versus the Lemonade, even though if this quality was the Lemonade, that one would have won. So this is my number 4. Number 3 goes to a palette that I didn't review, but I did use it in my Instagram in a tutorial. And when I used it on my eyes, I have not gotten so many requests on what the heck I was wearing on my eyes. That's the Ace Beauté Oceanic palette. Now this palette, the color story is beautiful. It is perfect. It's blues, deep ocean-like colors. Super beautiful. Love the theme of this. The reason why it's Number 3, because of the quality of it. I just don't know about this one. It has very, very dry eyeshadows as far as the formula goes, so they're a little bit finicky to work with. I understand now a lot of people love the color stories of Ace Beauty cosmetics in general, but the formula is a little bit hard to work with if you're not comfortable with the formula or the color story, because this is not a forgiving color story. You put this on your eyes, you will stand out. There is no hiding this, and you guys proved it when I wore it on my channel, and I constantly got comments what was on my eyes. Now this eyeshadow palette, the actual shimmers are a thicker formula, which is okay because it makes it pigmented. I have no problem with that. It's more of the mattes. The mattes kind of sound and feel like paper to me. I really have to be careful and I have to work with them. As you guys can see, here are 2 eyeshadows. I pressed the same pressure on both of them, and this one is more pigmented than this one is. So it's very inconsistent in its matte formula. So you think you got it down packed on how to use it on your eyes, and then you got to relearn how to use a different shade in the same palette on your eyeballs. The end result is beautiful, but this palette you have to take your time with it because it is not an easy beginner type of palette. I love the color story, and that's why it's number 3 compared to the last 2 that I shared with you guys, but it definitely is not my favorite formula. Now I understand why people are a little bit turned off by this brand. I just watched that blue one just to see, like, it's definitely, these shimmer shades are definitely pack a punch, but they are very, very thick. So if you don't want to accentuate the lines on your lid, I want to stay away from this brand. Number 2 goes to its sister palette. This is the Ace Beauty Flare palette. And this one went to number 2, not only because the color story is really beautiful and in your face, but here is my point. When I say to you guys, when I try a new brand, I always buy 2 eyeshadow palettes because sometimes I want to make sure that the consistency of the shadow formula is the same. And in this case, it's not. This one has better formula than the Oceanic one. The mattes in here are a lot softer, a lot creamier, and a lot easier to work with than the Oceanic one. There is my point. This is the reason why I do what I do when it comes to new brands that I try out. Because here's my prime example. If I would have bought the Oceanic one, I would have not liked it as much as this one. But if I would have bought this one, I would have been under the impression that this is their formula, and it's not. These are a lot easier to work with. I don't know if it's because these colors are a lot easier to make, more, you know, in the industry there's a lot more, so it's a lot easier to make these in the blue ones. But this one, the mattes are so much easier to work with. They're a lot softer, they're a lot more pigmented, and they blend so much better on the eyes. The actual shimmer shades, some of them are not as thick as the ones in the Oceanic one, so they're a little bit more forgiving, not by much, but they still are. So that's why this one is higher ranked than the Oceanic one, because I feel like the formula of this one is so much better, and I do like the color story a little bit more. It's more my thing. It has those bright, bold colors. It's not just one simple theme where you're always going to get a blue-green look, which I don't mind at all. I still find the Oceanic one beautiful. It's just this one, I can have more of a variety in my eye looks than that one. So that's why this one is number 2. Now, the first one beat all of them by a landslide. There is no comparison. It's out of its league, basically. But because I used it within these 5, obviously this is number 1. This is the Give Me Glow Juicy Olive palette. Holy cow. Give Me Glow, where have you been? Finally, they came out with eyeshadow palettes that really appealed to me, and oh my word, my favorite color in an amazing formula. This one, apart from the Oceanic one, this one was definitely my number 1 eyeshadow request that I've ever gotten on my channel. I wore this in one video, just one video, and every comment was like, what is on your eyes, Alex? What is on your eyes? Can you do a tutorial? What is on your eye? The tutorial that I did with this eyeshadow palette is on my Instagram, so I directed everyone there. But my goodness, you guys love this palette so much. And you can dupe it. I know a few of you said you had the Melt Cosmetics one, which is fine. I don't own any of the Melt Cosmetics formula, but this formula, holy moly, it's amazing. First of all, I might be a little bit biased because my favorite color is green, but the formula on this is so good. It's right below my Menagerie Cosmetics formula. If I were to rank any formula in general without looking at the shades, just formula, Menagerie Cosmetics is first for me, and then this one would come in number 2. This one's a little bit slightly easier to use in Menagerie because it's a little less slightly pigmented, but I mean not by much. I would notice that because I'm such an eyeshadow enthusiast that I can grab that from eyeshadow formulas, but somebody who doesn't really pay attention to that or doesn't care, just wants the formula, you might think it's the same thing. It's so good. This palette is worth every single penny. Holy moly, is this one amazing. Love everything about it. There's not one thing I would change about it. 6 shades, get a variation of colors. These two metallic ones are so different from one another, but they pack a punch on the eyes, lasted all day, blended like a dream. My favorite colors. It's nice and compact. You have a beauty mirror in here. The weight of this feels really good, and for 30 bucks, you guys, I would have paid more for this. Definitely my number one out of these 5. So that is it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed my ranking of these 5 eyeshadow palettes. I will link these down below in the description box if you are interested in checking any of these out. I'll put other videos right over here if you're interested in continuing your YouTube journey with me. Until then, bye guys.